And our first presentation today is from the Kroger Co. Edelman.
On the banks of the Ohio River in 1883, a young entrepreneur named Barney Kroger invested his life savings of $372 to open a small neighborhood grocery store. Barney built his business with a commitment to service, selection, and value from the very beginning. Soon, Kroger became the first grocery to make the baked goods it sold, and the first to sell meat and groceries under the same roof, saving customers time and money. Even as we continue to grow and innovate, we want to provide a friendlier shopping experience, led by a customer-first approach. A lot has changed since 1883, but Kroger's legacy can still be seen today in its commitment to service, selection, and value. Kroger is now America's largest traditional grocery retailer, serving communities from coast to coast. Even as we grow, we never want to lose that feeling of being the neighborhood grocery. We do that and deliver great quality by sourcing many of our products locally from region to region. When Barney Kroger began donating bread to those in need, Kroger's long history of fighting hunger in the communities it serves was born. Today, we continue to develop new ways of connecting with customers and enhancing their shopping experience. For example, our Q-Vision technology helps us provide faster checkout, reducing wait times from an average of 4 minutes to 30 seconds. And we're using new inventory management models in our pharmacies, so customers get the medicines they need when they need them. From one tiny grocery store in Cincinnati more than a century ago, Barney Kroger laid the foundation for what today ranks as one of the largest companies in America. But we're still just as passionate about food, customers, and our community as we were back then. And we love improving what we do today to build a better tomorrow.
Good morning. My name is Lincoln Lutz. I'm the Vice President of Pharmacy for the Kroger Company. Before we get started, we want to thank the committee for selecting the Kroger Company. We at Kroger view it as quite an honor to be in the finalist group. As you'll see today, the pharmacy team and the operations research team worked together to create a pharmacy inventory system that improved inventory levels, dramatically reduced out of stocks, and reduced the pharmacist's time to manage inventory. Kroger operates about 1,950 pharmacies across the United States that process over 160 million prescriptions, generating approximately $8 billion in revenue a year. Each pharmacy serves a unique demographic. At any time, a doctor may write a prescription for any one of about 24,000 drugs. Most pharmacies nationwide carry only a small fraction of that number, typically anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 different medicines. The demand for a drug in one store is often different than the demand for a drug in another due to several factors: geographic location, population demographics, and the unpredictability of illness impacting our customers. This causes our product inventory to vary widely among our stores, and that the thousands of drugs at one store may be very different than the thousands of drugs at another. Our pharmacies at Kroger help to create a convenient one-stop shopping strategy and we're focused every day on improving our customers' pharmacy experience. To further help our customers, we reached out to our operations research team to explore more opportunities. Here's a quick introduction to the operations research team at Kroger. Chris Jelm, our Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer at Kroger, and Stuart Aitken, CEO of dunnhumby, will appear in the video, as they could not be with us this morning. They will be with us this evening at the gala.
I have a great job at Kroger. I get to think about innovation every day and work with our associates to make it come to life. It's a combination of smart math people, some great technologists, and we have a way of combining all of those things to create a sustainable advantage for Kroger. But most important, it's about our customers. So how do we really transform their shopping experience? How do we connect with the customers of today and the customers of the future?
We had loyalty card data, but we never did anything with it for the benefit of our customers. It was just an electronic coupon. And dunnhumby is the company that really helped us take all that data to help our customers get a better deal every day and get a better deal on what's important to them.
Kroger and dunnhumby have been in the big data space for 10 years now. We leverage that data for insight, an insight that leads to action. But we're guided by one true principle, and that's to make sure we're doing everything we can for the customer to personalize the experience.
The size and scope of Kroger has allowed us to attract and retain some top talent. Certainly the support of our executive team and the very high visibility of the projects means that we can create a sustaining environment for operations research and the management sciences here at Kroger. And the guys really enjoy seeing their systems have such a huge impact on a major and storied company.
Our operations group is increasingly helping us run our business better on a daily basis.
A recent example of that was our QVision system. We really wanted to shorten the checkout times for our customers.
QVision has reduced the average wait of the Kroger shopper from over 4 minutes to under 30 seconds. And the average person can see it.
We're excited about today. We're even more excited about the future and working with the smart people at Kroger to make innovation a reality.
Kroger customers can now have their maintenance prescriptions refilled automatically by signing up for our new auto refill service. Customers' prescriptions are filled when due and they're sent a message via text, email, or voicemail when they're ready. We now offer prescription refills through Kroger's mobile apps. Several years ago, we initiated a pricing program that offers our customers $4 generic prescriptions, which includes over 300 drugs priced at $4 for a typical 30-day supply. This program includes medicine for heart, blood pressure, diabetes, infection, arthritis, cholesterol, and many other ailments. We also offer 90-day supplies of these medications for $10. At Kroger, we strive to improve the customer shopping experience in a healthcare industry that's seen its fair share of regulation, scrutiny, change, and uncertainty. This is not news to anyone here. We all remember when President Obama signed into law the Affordable Care Act that promises to change the medical profession and patient care in the United States. In December of 2011, our competition decided to discontinue accepting Express Scripts prescriptions. In 2012, several patents expired on drugs that allowed generics to be substituted for the name brands. Now, I'm not here today to lobby for political opinions or to advertise Kroger's customer-first strategy. I am here to paint the complex picture that drives our daily conversation aimed at serving our customers better at Kroger. Now a few comments on the specific program we're here to talk about today. One of the risks of overstocking prescriptions is that unused medicine will expire and is costly to the store. On the other hand, if we're out of stock, we can't take care of our customer. This is a conundrum that caused us to reach out to the operations research team at Kroger. Essentially, we asked the team to help us manage this highly volatile demand, follow evolving regulatory obligations, improve on tight service expectations, decrease working inventory, and decrease pharmacy time to manage inventory. A tall order, I'm sure you'll agree. Today, I hope this presentation shows you the operations research team at Kroger, how they helped us to simplify a complex environment and allow my management team to focus on our customers. With that, please enjoy this short video that gives you an inside look at some of our pharmacies.
I came to collaborate with the advisor on the Kroger team about 3 to 4 years ago. We share a same passion, using OR to solve practical problems.
One of the first projects we're working on was a discrete event simulation of our front-end operations for our stores. We started work with several universities, and one of the universities we started with was Wright State University. We did some senior design projects, and Dr. Z was in the crowd. Working with Dr. Z, he's got a relentless attitude to improving operations and making sure that every solution we put forward is the best solution.
And that's where Doug and I get into the discussion of actually how to carry out that project.
We exchanged emails at 10 o'clock one night, and 11 o'clock he had an answer for me. Exchanged some more emails at like 11:30, and then we had another phone call, lasted until about 2 in the morning, and he had results for me from that by, I think, 7 o'clock the next morning. Key Retail reached out to me, and they said that they have an opportunity with inventory.
It's our belief, both of us, that we have to be able to quickly demonstrate what we can do so that business can accept it. Very beginning, I was thinking of using the typical approach people have taken. But then, actually, pharmacy has its own characteristics.
I thought we could leverage 2 stores 5 miles apart in analysis. But when you look at how doctors decide one drug over another, how the demographics might just be slightly off from one store base to another, we couldn't leverage the data from one store to the next.
It took, let's say, 1 to 2 weeks to actually understand the problem. But building a simulation model in a day and demonstrate it, 2 weeks back, people come back and they can play with the simulation model and say, hey, you got it right.
We had pharmacists on the project improvement team. A lot of them like to get their hands dirty with models and understanding what math can do for a project. When we rolled out, the pharmacists actually enjoyed having to spend less time managing inventory. They could actually see the inventory pickup. They could actually see the results of the different min-max when they would have been out of stock in the past.
That is a breakthrough for us.
Later, we built and said, okay, well, what if we can find smarter levels altogether? And that's where the optimization came in, and they really bought into it at that point. In the analysis, every store had to be completely unique. And by making it unique by store, we improved the prescriptions that our customers get and reduced inventory simultaneously. The part of this project that hit home the most to me was the out-of-stock reduction. I have 3 kids of my own. We're off getting prescriptions late at night. And I can't imagine walking in, needing a drug or needing some prescription to take home to my child and not getting it. And so when I realized that 1.5 million prescriptions are filled every year because of smarter math, that really made me feel great about this project.
Hello, I'm Dr. Xinhui Zhang. I'm the Associate Professor at Wright State University and consultant to Kroger Corporation. Now I would like to formally introduce the underlying inventory problem, its characteristics, and the computational approach we took to solve the problem. Kroger sources pharmacy drugs from 2 vendors. The majority of the drugs are provided by Kroger through 3 of its warehouses, which will deliver the pharmacy orders on the same truck that delivers all the other non-food products. Kroger can place expedited orders and receive them on the next day through the third party. Each pharmacy store follows a rather fixed delivery schedule composed of 2 to 3 day deliveries per week, depending upon the host store's demand and distance from those warehouses. The delivery schedule could be any of the combination of days, such as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, for a 3-a-day-a-week delivery. Typically, 1 to 2 days before the delivery schedule, the pharmacy system evaluates the inventory positions. If it is at or below the reorder point, the system will create an order to raise the inventory position to the order up to levels. Orders are then typically rounded to the nearest multiples of package sizes. This is a one-stage periodic review R little s big S policy, yet with complex cost structures that is composed of ordering cost, inventory cost, and out-of-stock penalty cost. The penalty cost is composed of lost revenues and customer goodwill that depends on the number of units in the out-of-stock. For example, being able to partially fulfill a prescription, such as providing a week of supply, is superior to a total out-of-stock. Besides complex cost structures, when we start to evaluate the demand data, we quickly see some distinct characteristics in pharmacy that differs from other industries. In pharmacy, the demand for vast majority of the drugs is highly variable, intermittent, and irregular. In addition, the demand of many of the drugs follow a multimodal distribution that cannot be fitted into any of the standard unimodal distributions that are seen in the traditional inventory models. The complex cost structure and various demand profiles with multimodal distributions calls for a different approach from the traditional inventory models. Einstein said everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. To have operation research understood by end users, we want a simple and elegant approach that people understand. So we took a simulation model at first. The first model was constructed in spreadsheet to mimic the pharmacy periodic review system and uses Excel servers to evaluate alternative inventory solutions. The following graph visually explains the result of the simulation. In the top portion of the figure, we visualize the historical demand profile. In the bottom portion, we visualize the inventory performance based on the inventory policies. It was an immediate success. The spread simulation model not only allowed us to understand the full specifications of the inventory system, but more importantly, it reveals to the pharmacist what operation research can do to address their business problems. It allowed a visual, interactive simulation framework where pharmacists can understand the logic behind their current models. They could plug and play their simulation models and derive insights on the driving force of the inventory conundrum. These models greatly enhance the confidence that the pharmacy team had in the model and leads to the strong acceptance of the overall solution. The simulation model in spreadsheet, however, is not scalable in the national implementation. As mentioned by Lincoln, each pharmacy store has distinct demand profiles, with 1,950 pharmacy stores, approximately 2,000 drugs at each store. Efficient algorithm has to be developed to solve the underlying simulation optimization problem, and also because of the huge financial values at stake. If you look at the simulation and optimization approach we adopted, follows a sample pass problem. We exclude auto refills and manage substitutions before generating a 404-day realization of the demand. By fixing this demand, simulation is used to estimate the long-range average cost of various inventory policies. Optimization techniques such as a gradient-based search, perturbation analysis, and local search can be used to find the best policies to this estimation. So let's look at the characteristics of the problem. If you define Q as the difference between little s and big S, it is well known that for a given Q, the inventory problem is convex with respect to big S, so that the optimal S can be computed through a one-dimensional search. However, the inventory problem is not convex with respect to Q, so a complete enumeration of order sizes is necessary to find global optimum. Several algorithms have been examined. However, because of the complex cost structure, we have developed a local search-based heuristic to speed up the search process. The local search procedure starts with a hopefully good solution and iteratively search the neighborhood for better solutions through several moves. Move 1 is to increase or decrease an equal amount of little s and big S under fixed order size Q. Move 2 is increase little s while keeping big S unchanged, thus decrease the order size Q. Move 3 is increase big S while keep little s unchanged, this increases the size Q. As is well known, the key to a local search is design of the moves. So we explain the basic of the moves through an example problem below. In this example, the demand is typically composed of 30, 60, and 90 units, with occasional demand of 10 and 15, and the package size is 10. The maximum demand in an order period is 180, as can be seen in the figure. So for simplicity, we start the algorithm with the maximum demand in an order period, 180, and uses the economic order quantity calculated as 40. This gives a solution of 180 and 220 with the objective of 25.17. The ending inventory is illustrated in this figure. As you can see, the maximum negative ending inventory is negative 20, and the minimum positive inventory is 10. So intuitively, if we are going to increase the reorder point, it will be intuitive to increase by 20 and bring the next negative inventory to 0. Apply move 1, we can increase the order point to 200, keep Q fixed, and this leads to the better objective of 12.97. If we are to decrease the order point, it is intuitive also to decrease by 10 units so that to bring the next positive inventory to 0. This leads to a solution of 170 and 220 with worse objective, and thus is not adopted. Now let's examine move 2. So consider the solution 200 and 240 with Q equals to 40. The figure shows the minimum positive inventory is 30 units, and there's no negative inventory exists. Assume we want to increase order size Q. Similarly, we could decrease little s by 30 units while keep big S at 240. This will decrease the reorder point just enough to bring the minimum positive inventory to 0. This leads to solution 170 and 240. Below was the objective of 12.31. As you can see, at this time, the lowest positive inventory is 5 units, and all the inventory are above 0. So we can go back and apply move 1 and decrease both little s and big S by 5 units. This leads to solution of 165 and 235 with the objective of 11.91. So in this example, the algorithm only took a few steps to converge, producing objective values from 20.17 next to 12.97, then to 12.31, and then finally coming towards 11.91. The algorithm uses simulation result to speed up the search process. The heuristic is myopic yet intelligent. It is fast and intuitive, carefully controlling the steps in the search without visiting unnecessary solutions, and use of bounds allowed it to quickly converge to near optimal solutions to the problem. When tested on an Intel-based PC with 8 GB of RAM and 3.40 GHz of processor, the total computation time to sequentially solve for all the approximately 4 million drug store combinations was approximately 6 hours, or equivalently of an average of 10 milliseconds per drug store combination. This allows sufficient time for us to establish inventory policies for all drugs in all stores on a weekly basis. For a test store with 1,621 drugs, we generated a great search to test our solution quality, and we were able to achieve global optimal solutions for 92.9% of the time. The simulation optimization system uses empirical distributions. It is intuitive and easy to understand, and therefore accepted by our customers. It is agile and adaptive to user feedback, complex cost structures, and various different inventory policies. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dennis Bird, who will discuss the business acceptance and financial benefits.
Thank you, Dr. Z. My name is Dennis Bird. I'm responsible for all the technology that runs in the 1,950 pharmacies. I'm also a pharmacist. I currently lead a team of around 45 people, and we're supporting the operations in all those pharmacies. The approach that we're discussing this morning has helped the operations and the merchandising teams see ahead of time. It's like we can see what's going to happen in our store. It was a try it first, and if we like it, then we would buy it. We were reluctant to try a blind test that could cost us literally millions of dollars if we got it wrong. Think of it as a demo in a car. You wouldn't buy a car without a demo ride. This could cost a lot more than a new car if you messed it up. So as Dr. Zhang explained, the simulation approach proposed by the operations research team was very easy to follow, and it was easy to implement. To change the behavior of how our associates order products in almost 2,000 pharmacies, it needs to be simple, easy to explain why, and work better than the old way. Our associates will change, but you have to make it simple. You have to have a good why, and it has to work, because if you don't do all three things, it's going to be really tough to roll it out quickly and get the results that we've seen. We started to get excited about the opportunity the day the operations research team showed us what we could visually see the performance of different inventory policies. The methods allowed us to test the inventory policies that we believed were good ideas ahead of time. It was a surprise. Some of our good ideas would not work as well as we thought in the store and would affect our customers. We got the experience we needed to test and try our ideas without the risk or the cost of a live trial. We could be able to do it quickly. I want to caveat this a little bit. Kroger is a very, very conservative company. We're absolutely crazy about our customers, and we are very, very careful not to do things that would affect the shopping experience of our customers. We could play with the stimulation model, which would give us hands-on experience within seconds. By creating the stimulation first, the operations research team gained my confidence and that of the broader pharmacy team. Pharmacy sales is not an impulse shopping business. We need to have the product when the patient needs it, or they'll go somewhere else. We almost have to know what the doctor's going to write before they prescribe the prescription to the patient, so that when we have it available, when the patient walks into the pharmacy, the prescriber determines what we're going to be selling. It isn't a patient's impulse to purchase a prescription, and most of the time, a patient doesn't really want the medication. They know they need the prescription. They just don't want to spend their money on the prescriptions. Our patients have many choices, and we need to have a product they want when they walk in the store. The optimization techniques described consistently beat our business estimates. It gave us a clear idea of the trade-offs between inventory carrying costs and the out-of-stocks. It eliminated that dichotomy that has puzzled the pharmacy team for years between out-of-stocks, too much inventory. In a visual environment, we had a tool that allowed the pharmacies to leverage the operations research firepower and gain more insights. In addition to the problem of carrying cost of too much inventory, we had high out dates, which generated return cost. We're not able just to throw away outdated inventory. It has to be accounted for and has to be returned with tracking. In early October 2011, we started to roll out a solution to the enterprise. The solution is maintained centrally. The OR model runs and sends the inventory settings to our central pharmacy system weekly. We rolled out 6 divisions every 2 weeks. This gave us enough time for our warehouses to regain the inventory positions and to prevent the sudden out of stocks in the supply chain. By the end of October 2011, the company was fully implemented. We had 18 divisions. The timing was fortuitous, as our competition had announced it would stop accepting Express Scripts. Now, what Express Scripts is a very large prescription insurance company that helps patients pay for their medication. The patient pays for the copay. Express Scripts pays for the rest. With Walgreens turning away patients because of a contract dispute, Kroger had a chance to gain a large amount of patients over a short period of time. These kinds of opportunities don't happen very often. In fact, they're rare, and the window of opportunity is very narrow. The tool helped us maintain the high levels of in-stock position during this extreme period and helped us gain, and now later has retained, many of these customers. In the months after the national implementation, we saw a steady decrease in the out-of-stocks, though our volume was continuing to increase. Overall, we saw an annual decrease of out-of-stock prescriptions of 1.5 million prescriptions in 2012. The impact to health, customer service, and sales cannot be stressed enough. We reduced the inventory while reducing the out-of-stocks. And keep in mind, Kroger's strategy is customer first. So by having the prescriptions available, we also increased our revenue by approximately $80 million in the pharmacy. And this is in addition to an unmeasured impact on the traditional grocery sales. That was an unexpected bonus to the program. Simultaneously, while reducing out of stocks, we reduced inventory by $120 million. This project helped reduce the labor costs that were involved in the ordering process that is no longer needed, and has saved us the equivalent of $10 million. We could perhaps fund the whole 15-person OR team for approximately 5 years with just this 1 year of labor savings in pharmacy. Better service with reduced operational costs allowed our pharmacies to focus on our customers with the necessary consultation and their health care needs. This provided a win-win solution to the Kroger pharmacy. Over the past fiscal year, the pharmacy has seen almost a 10% increase in prescriptions. We went from 146 million annually to over 160 million last year. And our revenue went from 7.3 billion to 8 billion. Focusing on the customer has been a key to this success. These results have greatly enhanced the confidence that our Kroger managers, our pharmacists, and the operations teams have gotten together. With that, I'm now introducing Brett Bonner, He's a Senior Director for Research and Development who will discuss the project and impact.
Thank you, Dennis. At Kroger, the operations research team, led by Doug Miser at the left of the stage, is a critical part of the corporate research and development function. We look to operations research at the beginning of our innovation process and as a key practice area through the entire innovation pipeline. An ideal project starts with the OR group and involves the development of new technology to provide a step change function and a strategic advantage. Due to the success of the pharmacy inventory project, we're currently working on various inventory applications in other departments. One example of this inventory management system is for our fresh meat and seafood department. Here, a multiple linear regression-based forecasting model for each product combines with a similar approach to minimize spoilage and out of stocks. And once again, the simulation optimization approach is used because demand changes are based on freshness, markdown products, etc. Today, we are piloting this new inventory solution in 25 stores. Meat cutters in these stores can see live inventory counts on a wall display with real-time cut recommendations that reduces out of stocks and shrink simultaneously. This project utilizes other advanced R&D systems like real-time POS feeds, instrumentation of production equipment, and handhelds of our own design for real-time task management. In essence, with this problem, we transformed an inventory problem using simulation into an optimization problem. Such solutions offer an effective approach for improving inventory management. Further, this approach seems directly transportable to many parts of the medical industry and potentially many other industries as well. According to the Henry J. Kaiser Family Foundation, a total of 3.8 billion prescriptions were written in the U.S. with a retail value of $228 billion in 2011. So that's quite an area of opportunity. You've seen how we look to the operations research team at Kroger and operations research practice to solve our most challenging problems and to improve the shopping experience for our customers. As Dennis said, we're crazy about our customers. Our team is honored to be a finalist for the Edelman Award. We thank you for listening to our presentation. To close, here again are Chris Gill and Rodney McMullen. Rodney's our vice chairman, describing the future of innovation at Kroger and expectations regarding the operations research practice area.
Innovation's the core of who we are. It was from the early days of Barney Kroger, and throughout the history of the company, we've been an innovator.
You know, the whole company continues to change. It's not your parents' Kroger anymore, and it's really how do you take all this data that we have so that we can improve our business.
When you look at the future, it's how do we continue to be an agile, responsive company? How do we continue to innovate in a way that delights customers and gets them to want to shop at Kroger?
When you look at the pharmacy project, for example, if a customer comes in and we're out of stock, that's really bad because somebody's sick and they need it and they need it now. Or if we have too much inventory, we can't afford it because it's incredibly expensive. So this project specifically, it's a win-win. Win for our customers and win for our shareholders.
At Kroger, our future is all about innovation, and we're excited about Q-Vision, what we've done with the pharmacy, and there are many more innovations to come.
Our operations team is really taking Kroger in new directions, and it's taking all the data that we have and making information that can help us better connect with our customers.
Again, thank you for listening to our presentation, and we're happy to take any questions.